Welcome to another episode of the Watch Me Wholesale Show. Here's how this works. I'm going to randomly select a market. Then I'm going to go into that market and find a distressed property for sale. Then we're going to crunch the numbers, get to an offer price, and call and make the offer all on the show. And we're going to do this using Propwire. Now, if you don't know what Propwire is, it's the nation's #1 database for distressed seller leads with over 157 million records nationwide. Best of all, it's absolutely free to search and download as many records as you want. But first, if you don't know me, my name is Jerry Norton. I make millions of dollars a year wholesaling and flipping houses. And here on my YouTube channel, I show you how to do the same. So if you want to be a flipping genius like me and live your dream life, subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. All right, we're going to jump over to the screen now and we're going to spin the wheel and we're going to pick one of 10 random markets. All right, looks like Little Rock, Arkansas is the winner. Let's go find a deal. Okay, so once we go to joinpropwire.com, we're going to go up here to the address and we are going to search Little Rock, Arkansas, and let's go to the city. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my lead types and I'm going to go down to MLS active and let's go ahead and do single family and maybe condos. And we have other filters here, but for now that's good. It gives us, quite a bit to look at here. And one thing I like to do is maybe we'll sort this by price and we'll go, lowest to highest. Probably going to see some pretty low stuff on here. And I'm going to skip out of some of this super low stuff and just find something maybe a little more reasonable up in the, 70s or 80s. And let's see, just so we can find maybe something worth chasing after here quickly. Okay, so this looks like let's see what's going on here. 2500 Booker Street. Let's click on this one. Okay, so when we pull this up here, it's got looks fairly good from the outside. And look at this. Paint cans, a door leaned up. Looks like a contractor already did some painting in here. There's some new flooring that's down. So I see this quite often. Look, there's some drywall ripped out. This looks to me, there's some new cabinets. So somebody started renovating, and this is very typical. I see this all the time where a rehabber starts, they run out of money, or they, have a bad contractor experience. Something goes on, and then they bail, or they just want to, sell it and get rid of it. So that might be what's going on here. It says, explore this charming home, boosting outside storage, fence this to 3 beds, 2 baths, over 1,900 square feet, well maintained. Don't miss this opportunity. Okay, so clearly though an investor because it's like partially renovated. So I like this one. Let's go see what kind of history is going on here. So they started out at 95. It's been sitting a bit, so back since August of last year. So this has taken a while. Went pending, then back active again, and it's been stuck at 89 since January. So as of this recording, 3 months or so. Yeah, Kingdom Properties bought this for 50 back in 21, and they clearly spent some money on it. So this is an investor looking to just sell this thing and get out. Let's go ahead and look at some comps real quick just to get our head around that neighborhood. So we're kind of in this little area here. And what I like to do real quickly is we're looking at half a mile. We're looking at sold in the last year. I'm just trying to get my head around it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I want to kind of find the highest sold price per square foot. So if I look here, okay, here's a 125. That's actually on Booker. Here's $100 a square foot. Here's a 120. Here's a 101, another 101. Maybe I'll grab this 98. Let's see if there's any others I want to grab. Got all those. Yeah, so then there's a lot of stuff much lower. So that's giving us like a 205. Now, just looking here, we're not seeing very much over 200 in these comps because they're smaller in square footage. We're 1,900 and these are like 12, 11, 13. You know what I mean? So there is some economies of scale here. So, but it gives me a good idea, like around 100 to 120 bucks a foot is the highest stuff is selling for. So now let's go ahead and call this agent. I got sort of an idea of what value is in that market. So I'm gonna go back over here And I'm going to go down to, so we're looking for Gerald Craig. There's a couple numbers here. So let's just go ahead and see if this guy answers the phone. Sometimes I'll text first and then see if they respond. But let's just go ahead and call this number and see what he says. Yeah, hi, is this Gerald?
It's Gerald. I'm going to help you.
My name is Jerry Norton. I'm an investor looking at a listing you have on Booker Street.
Okay, your name again, sir?
Jerry.
All right, Jerry, and last name was?
Norton.
No, it's Mr. Norton. Okay, Jerry Norton, Booker Street. How can I help you with that one?
Well, I'm looking for something that might be a good flip. Looks like somebody started a remodel on this one. Is that right?
Yeah, it's my client. Yeah, too many properties. You got a crew in there that didn't know what they were doing, and they did a pretty bad job on it, Mr. Norton.
Okay, I've been there. That's hard to get contractors to do good work. So
yeah, I'm a general contractor myself.
Okay.
We take those, and all I do is fix and flip. I don't do any myself. I do it for investors only.
Gotcha. Well, that's good to know.
I have to tell you that I did not touch that property.
Well, what would you spend to finish it is a good question.
Well, Mr. Norton, I'm representing that seller, so I have to be real careful about giving out information.
Yeah. I just mean if I bought it and hired you, what would you recommend I budget for a rehab?
Well, the first thing, if you sign me on as a buyer's agent, then I could share the information equally with you and the seller. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm unrepresented, so I'd let you write the offer for me and do the buyer side.
Right. Then I have to be equal. It's called dual agency. I have to be equal with you and the seller. Okay. Yep. In that case, I would give you a complete sheet of every detail, and I start with the roof, for instance. But that house has a new roof on it, so if it's 1,500 square foot, I say it's $4 a square foot or $4,800 for the roof. I know we do it in squares, but I have a formula calculated in square feet. Okay. Interior. If that house was ready to paint, I would give you $2.75 per square foot, including paint. But that one needs a little texture, so it's probably going to be $3 a square foot to texture and paint it up. Some of the floors are good, so it's not very much floor work in there. So it's only about $1,000 with the floor work left in there. The biggest problem is going to be not the problem, but what we got to address is going to be things they did not address that would be on the inspection report if you're going to flip it, right?
Yeah.
So if we do an inspection and it comes back that you need all the receptacles, which you probably will because they have to be GFCI now, in the bedrooms even.
Mm-hmm.
So I would give you a sheet that said you probably need about $3,000 in electrical. The plumbing, it looked like it's been done, but I don't think they went to the floor. So there's a couple of $1,000s in plumbing to do there. And then I would give you a list of all the top out items. And I do everything by $1 per square foot. So if I'll just give you a number, if you bought the house was $50 a square foot, then I would give you a sheet of everything. It would comprise of all the things needed. Let's say it came out to $25 a square foot. Now you're all in at $75 per square foot. We look at the market there and see what it sells for in that area. It's not as high as we want, so it's under $120 a square foot over there. So you couldn't put more than about $90 a square foot in that house.
Yeah, I'm looking at some comps here. I see a comp for 120,
right?
A 125, and a couple hundreds. But you're not pushing. You're probably going to be top of market, no more than 120 a foot.
Yeah, that's what I said. And
yeah.
I would use the bottom rather than top of market.
Okay. So yeah. Well, $100 a foot is probably reasonable, fair.
Right. Mm-hmm. So 110. If we use 110, then you probably could go up to 80, and still have $30 a square foot left over.
Well, let me plug in my numbers here. What's the square footage on this? 19 something?
Yes.
Is it? What's that?
Let me get the exact square footage for you.
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Here we go. 1942.
Okay.
Okay, so let me plug this in. 1942 and 110 a foot, right?
Yes.
And what does that rehab come to? Based on what you said, you said $25 a foot. Is that what you said?
Yeah, we're going to try to stay at $75 a foot all in.
Yeah, I guess I'm just looking at the actual numbers. So 25 times 1942 would be 50. Yeah, I had 50. It's 48. So let's say 50. I got closing cost commissions. I got some financing costs. I got a profit budget, and so on.
My data, when I send it to you, it factors all those things in, and it would tell you what the bottom line is on it when I send it out to you. And it pulls in all those comps too. It pulls in about 20 comps.
Yeah.
And it has to go out a little ways, pull in comps.
I mean, I got to build in a little bit of buffer and stuff like that. I mean, probably looking like around, 70, 75 would be a deal.
Okay.
What do you think what do you think the chances are of that?
I think we've had something that high. You turn it down. Let me hold it 1 second, please. You got a moment?
Sure.
I want to put my associate on. She handles all my paperwork.
Okay.
And all the deals. And do you want us to do a verbal on that?
Yeah, just do a verbal, and if they respond, then we can put it in writing.
Okay. That'll be great. And I think we've had one that high. And somebody came back with $7,000 in repairs based on the current offer.
Was that a retail offer then?
Well, somebody came in with an offer at 89 and asked for 70 repairs. That would have made 82. He turned that down, so now we're saying 75. But that's been a while. Let me put Mr. Norton. You there?
Yes.
Andrew didn't answer. She always answers, but apparently she's on the phone. Let me run that. What amount again? 70. Yeah,
let's just go at 70. Now, a lot of the comps are a little lower in square footage. So, at 110 a foot, like I'm looking at, this one sold for 100 a foot on Booker recently. So let's take a look at this one. 1823 Booker.
Okay.
I'm going to pull it up real quick. 1823 Booker. I mean, this is probably a pretty good comp since it's our street, right?
Yes.
And let's see, 1823 Booker. Yeah, nice, cute little house. I mean, it doesn't look like a full remodel. Like there's some stuff in it, so it's clean, but it's not. Like the floors need done. I mean, this is not a rehab.
Yeah, that's not a rehab, so that's not a really good.
No, but it got one. Yeah, so it sold for 137, but we're quite a bit bigger. So let's see if there's something better.
And I try to stay away from larger homes in those areas where they don't sell high. If you stay with 12 and 1,400 square foot in those areas, we do a lot better rather than the larger homes in those areas. Because what we're looking at when we get to 190, and we're going to flip it, how many people at 190 wants to live in that area? So that's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to go over 200 though on price.
Well, I wouldn't want to go to. I only want to go 190. That's my point. Let me add Andrew on. One more, please. Andrew.
Hey.
You there? We got Mr. Jerry Norton on, and he's an investor. He's interested in Booker. This is Andrea Phillip.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi. Hi, how are you doing today?
Good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great.
So I'm just crunching some numbers here on this property. If I put the back end at 190 a foot, that gives me a $98 per foot on the price per square foot. Seems like there's a few comps over there that are hitting that type of back end number, but we are a little bigger than most of the homes in the market there. Most of them are like down there at like 11, 12, maybe 1,300 square feet. We're 1,900 square feet. So, there is a little bit of that economies of scale being bigger. But if I budget a 50K rehab and I factor in closing, commissions, I got to factor in some financing, profit, and some wiggle room. I guess, Gerald, I'm readjusting now. I had it up a little too high. Yeah. I'm actually closer to I think I'm more like 60, maybe 65.
Right. Right. Now, we know he's going to reject that, so we probably need to work on that rehab.
Maybe we work on the rehab. Yeah, I mean, 50 grand, it looks like there's cabinets in there. Maybe we can save some money on that budget.
But we can. I haven't run the numbers as a contractor because I don't want there to be a conflict. And then when I run numbers, I don't want you to buy it. And I won't run numbers hoping that you buy it. I'm going to run true numbers.
Yeah, actual numbers, yeah.
So if it scares you away, it's fine. Andrew, I'm behind on how many numbers now? Probably 2 or 3 that I need to get you.
Yeah.
So
On
I can run numbers. Today's what, Tuesday. I can run numbers by Thursday. That's the earliest I can run numbers on it.
well, what if we made a verbal, we'll have some contingencies in there. Maybe we do a verbal, because I don't want to waste your time. What if we did a verbal for 70, and if they bite, then we just tell them, hey, we just need a couple days due diligence to verify the rehab, and then that way we're all working under a contract, not working, you're doing all this time and then they say no anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. But it's time for me to run numbers on it anyway.
Okay.
And it's far less than 50. We probably can get it down to 25 or 30. Because the roof is done. I need sand floors. I need to reposition some cabinets, work on some plumbing. I think I can come back with something a lot less than that.
Okay.
And I'll have those numbers for you in 2 days. Meanwhile, Andrew, can you call Quad and ask him about a verbal on that one? 70?
Yeah, let's do a verbal at 70, and I'm cash, and as is cash, close whenever it's ready.
Okay.
Put up maybe.
We never could get a inspection report because the person that did the inspection was a contractor. He didn't want to give us a report, but we did get a list of items that they wanted us to repair. Andrew, you have that list of items?
Yeah.
Okay. So without delay, can we go ahead and send that to Mr. Norton? And Mr. Norton, this is the list that the other buyer wanted him to repair. I'm going to give you a more detailed list, but we want you to be up on this list at least.
Okay.
Andrew, you need to take Mr. Norton's phone number and email.
Yeah, I can text that to you. Want me to text it to you?
If you text it, hey, Mr. Norton,
Let me know.
Can you share with me? Can you share your contact with me?
Definitely. Do you want me to text it to this number?
Yes.
So,
and I'll share my contact and Andrew's contact with you. She'll send you over the list of items that the last buyer requested with permission of the seller. And then the last thing, we'll give him a verbal offer and see he may want a verbal counter, but we'll get back with you and we can.
Great. And when you're doing that too as well, can you help me verify that back end at 190? Let's get tight on that number too, like feel good about it.
And actually, Andrew ran those several times. Andrew, can you discuss with us what you found on Booker?
Yeah.
I have to look them up again. I have to look. Let me pull up the numbers. I'm not by my computer. Just a second.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could do it and then send me like a comp analysis on what you're finding. But I like to stay fairly close to the neighborhood and similar to the property. All the things to make sure we're looking at apples to apples. But if we can justify a 190 back end, I mean that is going to be kind of high for that market. There's not a ton of stuff selling close to 200 over there. But but we are. Yeah.
I know it ran over 200 just because of square footage, but the area we were saying it was going to sell a little lower than that.
Right.
The area. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know how that is. Just because it's a price per foot, if it's the biggest home in the neighborhood, you don't want to take that risk that you're just priced out of the market.
And that's where we are. Where are you located? What city?
Well, I'm from Michigan, but I do flipping like all over. I'm originally from Michigan. I actually live in Puerto Rico now. Metro Detroit, like an hour from the city.
Okay. Yeah, I was at 14.5 Mile Road, Wall Lake Road.
Oh, okay. Was that Commerce or Walled Lake or where's that? Where were you at?
Actually, was Southfield to Wall Lake.
Okay. I know that area really well. I lived in Lake Orion and Oxford area, Oakland County. So you're Oakland County guy. Yeah, that's great.
Well, no, actually, I was there for about a year and a half, 2 years, about 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, I still do a lot of real estate all up and down that Oakland County area, Southfield over to, further east all the way to Detroit and stuff.
Right. I have them all over, including Ecoys, River Rouge, East Side, all over Detroit area.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So Jerry, what we're going to do is we're going to send you this breakdown.
Okay.
You send your contact. I'm going to share my contact and Andrew's contact. We're going to send you a breakdown of all these properties. I have some software that if we put it in, you're going to see the breakdown. But if I put it on the market, it'll send it to
perfect
thousands of buyers and investors, and we can help you market it. And we can help you market it on the sales side at a much lower rate than most realtors. So,
okay,
that's something bitter.
Yeah, I'm not local there, so if to go ahead and flip it, I would need a contractor and an agent on the back end as well. So we could definitely talk about that.
Place for us to get the price down for you with the seller, we can reduce our commission to try to get it down to that 70 as well. Oh,
good. Yeah, I typically will do like a discounted list with most of my investments. So if you're open to that, that's really helpful. Saves on some cost, and I'm looking at our long-term relationship. So if we work well, then we can keep doing deals.
Okay. And then we can send you other properties in the area. I want to tell you about that area quickly. Little Rock is growing. Every property in Little Rock that's vacant is being remodeled right now. Every property. You can't find one anywhere. And there are tons of people, scores of people that's trying to find those.
Yeah, I see that.
If you look at Roosevelt Road, that's kind of the dividing line from downtown Little Rock. If you take Main to Roosevelt, at one point, that was a stopping point. Nobody went south of Main on Roosevelt. But now south on Main on Roosevelt, it's completely developed. The whole street of Main, all the way across to the end, has now been developed. So you do the same thing on this particular street that we're looking at, Booker. They're crossing Roosevelt now, going south, and many of the streets south of Roosevelt are being developed currently. So it's a slow progress, but many of the streets along the same area where you're looking on Booker is now being developed. But I caution my investors not to be too fast about it, but that's the next development area. Another area, if you're looking at in Little Rock, start looking at Park. What's the next? Fair Park Boulevard? Yeah, Fair Park is going to be a great area. And right now the prices are relatively reasonable there, but the price is going to be higher. Anywhere close to Markham is going to be good as well. In Little Rock, and we'll start sending you those properties. We have new software to find property before they get to the wholesaler, so that sometimes saves us $10,000 to $20,000, and we'll start sending you some of those off-market properties also.
Great. Yeah, I prefer to buy off-market. You get deeper buy, and then
yes,
and I'd be happy to work with you on those as well.
Okay. Well, we'll start sending you those. Meanwhile, we got to work cut out to get this. The full comp, and I'm going to send you a comp that you haven't seen before. It's going to watch spread on this property. So we may have 20 home properties on there. We can send that comp to you. Andrew, can we run that from the Ohio software?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, running on the Ohio software, it's going to bring a lot more properties. And go ahead and put it in, and he'll see properties that's still off market. Go ahead and put that in so we can set that full list of vacant properties and absentee properties for him. And it'll give a comparison to that property. And then we'll run it on Remax and see what Remax come up with as far as comps.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
All right.
I'll do my job and get you those numbers. Andrew will send you the list of items that the biggest seller requested, and go ahead and send a verbal over at $70,000, sir.
When do you think you'll hear back on the verbal?
30
hours.
Yeah, within an hour.
Within an hour?
Yes.
Okay, I'll watch for your call back then.
All right, sounds great.
Okay.
Please send me a text
and
email.
And it's Gerald, but do you go by Jerry as well, or what do you go by?
No, I go by Gerald.
Gerald, okay. Gerald and Andrea.
That's correct.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Look forward to hearing back from you here shortly.
All right, thank you.
sir.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye. Okay. So really, really cool when that happens. You've got a very versatile agent here, also a general contractor. He mentioned the word wholesaler, off market. So this is someone that's really trying to not just be a traditional real estate agent, but just really solve a lot of problems and be the solution in a lot of ways. He's very interested in the relist. So if we buy this or whoever flips it, he would want that. So he's just looking for ways to really, be a great solution in a lot of ways. And I love working with agents like this because they're very relationship driven. They're very deal driven. He's saying all the right things like, hey, let me give you a breakdown. Let me show you comps. Let me show you what's going on in the area. This is someone that you want to work with and build relationship with. So cool connection here. And if this is right, now I hope you notice how I made that very clear to him. I'm like, hey, 190 is sort of pushing it. I'm not seeing a lot of stuff selling for 190. We have to justify that. I have to see a breakdown on the cost. I kind of went through with him and said, hey, I need to be at these numbers. Because someone like that, they're very logical. And if you can show them where you're coming up with your offer price and why you need to be at that price, and it makes sense, then they'll go to bat for us. So hopefully he calls us back here in a little bit. We'll kind of watch for his number and let's see what happens here. We're not too far off. What was I think the list price here was, I forget what it was. Where is it? It's this one. It was at 89. Now I'm feeling like we need to be a little lower than 70, just my gut. But looking at this thing, it's, nice brick house, good floor plan, good bones, wood floors, kitchen's already in, some of the work's already done. If we can keep this thing down on the rehab, this might be a good deal for somebody. And so we'll see what happens from there. Guys, I hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you haven't, you need to be using Propwire. It's such a valuable tool. We're doing a really cool promo right now called Propwire Gold. And the way that works is you get 2,500 skip traces for $97 a month. So 2,500 skip traces per month for just $97 a month. Now think about this. The going rate for skip tracing is 12 cents per record. That's what all the top skip tracing companies charge. That means 2,500 skip traces would cost about $300. And we're giving that for $97. We're actually losing money doing it, but we want to get you active on the system. We want to get you to deals. 2,500 should get you a deal if you're working those leads because it should create about 200 or so quality conversations. Of those 200 conversations, 20 should be serious about selling. And of those 20 serious sellers, one will be a discounted property that you can wholesale for, $10,000 or whatever. So if you're working those leads literally for $97, you should be able to get a deal if you're willing to call and text those leads. And again, for 2,500 leads, $97 a month, it's a no-brainer. We give some other bonuses like a live call with a coach, and we give away a bunch of cool resources. So all you got to do is go to propwiregold.com to sign up for that. Go to Propwire Gold to get that $97 a month for $300 worth of skip tracing. Okay, and guys, hope you got a lot of value out of this call. If he calls back here, we'll go ahead and add that follow-up call to the series. But guys, I appreciate you. Make sure you leave a message, leave a comment, and let me know what your big takeaways were, what you learned, and how you're going to apply this on your next call. And I'll see you on the next video.
Hello, this is Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. It's Jerry Norton. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Good. I got your text. So you offered 70 verbal and they came back at 79?
Yes.
Okay.
The girl said that you can get the comps to make sense in that for that amount, but it just depends on what you want to offer, what you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be nice if I'm going to try to get that price point. Does he have an idea yet what his rehab would be?
He was saying that he could get it under like 30,000.
30,000, huh?
He has the numbers. He was just saying based off of what he's seen, walking through the house and everything. He was saying that he could still get it to a good price for you. But like I said, we just have to wait on what his actual numbers will be because he hasn't had time to sit down and write it all out.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Let's counter back at 73 and see what they say.
Okay, got you. Send it in now.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, so I was at 70. They came back at 79. Now I'm just trying to get to their bottom line, right? Like, where are they really at? So it came up a couple thousand. Let's see what they say. But if this is true, that this thing can get, up there near 190, and if it's true that he can keep that rehab around 30 or so, then this isn't a bad deal. This is a pretty good deal. I like these numbers. It's really penciling out. So let's see what they come back with, and we'll go from there.